Welcome to Dove and Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with fabulous children's author, Jim Price. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm proud to be a part of this podcast, and I'm blessed and grateful to have the opportunity as well.
So you have Harold from the Hood. Before we get into what Harold is, why did you start writing children's books?
Well, I'm a public educator, so I work with middle school kids. So I've been doing that for a while. So a part of my job is to actually do like social skill groups with the kids.
Okay.
So a while back, I was working with some elementary kids, and they were, would have a hard time paying attention to the social lessons and things of that nature. So I decided to improvise, and I brought into the lesson this snail puppet. And I named it Harold from the Hood. And then the kids paid attention. We got through our social lessons. They were able to have a good time with Harold from the Hood, the puppet. And it kind of went from there. And I never thought that all this time later, it would actually become a children's book series.
Well, that is a wonderful story, because how many times as parents, as educators, as teachers, we are trying to get the attention of the people who we're trying to teach, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if we're a parent trying to get a hold of our children to teach them whatever they're trying to learn, or an educator in front of the classroom trying to get them to learn something. So using a puppet, especially in elementary, works.
Yes, I found out that way. I was like, before that had happened, it was very difficult to have them focus and pay attention to things like that, because they'd be distracted by the littlest things. So, I mean, the puppet definitely did bring a dynamic that was different and had them be able to focus on what we were talking about in terms of social lessons and social skill building. Of course, that's what my series is about: social lessons, social skill building, social appropriateness, and things of that nature, and teaching those skills to the young generation so that they can, hopefully become, prosperous adults.
Well, we want happy little humans, right?
Yes.
That's the goal. We want humans to continue to be humans.
Yes.
But we have to teach them how to behave in society today.
Yes.
So we have Harold, and what are some of the adventures that Harold goes on?
So, like, the first book that I have is called, Harold from the Hood, A Trip to the Park, and that social lesson is based on accepting the other's differences. So, like, in that book particularly, Harold goes through the obstacles of interacting with, other characters on the playground, and he's trying to find a playmate, and of course, everybody's turning him down because they're saying he's different and he's not like them, and so, but eventually he does stumble upon somebody who doesn't care that he's a snail. Like they're okay with him being different, and they're like, they go about and interact and play and get into the dynamics of what kids should be doing,
right. Playing and having fun and being all inclusive.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what the difference is. I mean, you can have 101 different differences with any kids on the playground, but at the same time, we have to learn to accept everyone.
Yes. So that's what that book is about. I do have a second book out too, which is Harold from the Hood, Friends Like Different Things, where the focus of that book is about showing kids that there's a lot of other things, fun activities that they can engage in and be a part of outside of tablets, video games, cell phones, iPads, all these other electronic gadgets that they're so attached to these days.
You mean there's a life outside of electronics?
Yes.
We probably are the last generation that did bike rides until like it got dark, or the porch light was the, hey, you have to come in now.
Yes. So that second book of mine does focus on aspects of that and showing the kiddos that there's lots of fun things they can do without being attached to electronics and stuff. Try to get them to think about, getting back to, playing outside and doing the, different things that are, active and everything like that, which is all
Right.
to do as well.
Right. There's hiking, there's fishing, there's boating, there's playground equipment that, was lacking because we took it away because everyone has what? iPads.
iPads, yes, cell phones.
Oh my goodness. I'm like,
tablets,
yeah,
video
I've been
games.
watching the playgrounds get smaller and smaller and smaller, and
Yeah.
everyone's just sitting around with their tablets. I'm like, we used to go down slides and over this bridge thing. What happened to that?
I think that's the thing that's changed. I mean, even in the school system I work in, the kids, that's a part of their thing now. They're attached to these phones. I mean, they could literally be standing next to each other and texting. And I'm like, how about you just talk? I mean, the person you're texting is right there. Why don't you just open up and have some social dialogue? I mean, it's like just looking at screens and
yeah, it's quite funny to watch the younger generation right now, especially when you have elementary school kids. I'm not talking teenagers and up. I'm talking elementary kids with their phones and they're texting, and literally the person they're texting is standing right there within 3 feet.
Exactly. It's something that is unique to see, considering, when I was going to school, when I was in middle school and things like that. It's just a different aspect to see how the kids utilize their technology these days.
Right. I mean, I remember it being in school, you don't have your cell phone in class, you keep it in your locker, and if you had it out, it got taken away and your parent had to come to the school to get it back.
Yeah, yes. We do have policies like that in our school where, the kids are not allowed to use their cell phones in the classrooms. But also if they are caught using their cell phones, that's taken away. A parent has to come pick it up later. So we kind of try to curb a lot of the electronic use in terms of that. And a lot of the students, they know about my book series too. So they, I use that as leverage sometime to kind of have them follow the path of rules and regulations and expectations that they have.
I think that should be your next book, rules and regulations. I'm having fun here. I mean, it's good to have a cartoon or a book or a puppet to be able to teach some of the stuff that we had growing up, because we got detached somehow thanks to electronics. And our kids go back, you actually played outside? Why did you get dirty for?
Yeah, exactly. Some of the kids actually do say that. And I'm like, hey, man, just try it. I mean, it's something that is fun, and, depending on what game they're playing and stuff like that, it is something that's fun. So, I mean, it's been a tremendous thing to be able to actually, come up with books that teach these social lessons like this, and have it be from, back in the day when it was actually a snail puppet to actually being a character in a social skills series. Like, it's just been tremendous. And I mean,
my daughter, when she was growing up, I was like, why don't you go outside and make a mud pie? She was like, what's a mud pie? I'm like, use your imagination. It's mud, it's rocks. If they think that you use the little teeth set that I got you, that's just sitting there collecting dust, and you make mud pies, go do something.
So, I mean, the kids, it's a different day, and the society is definitely different. The climate, climate of the society is different too. So that's where the direction has gone, where technology is king and everybody's connected to it in some capacity. And I mean, society leans on technology so heavily these days, and the kids, they gravitate toward all that too. So, I mean, it is something. I always say to myself, if the internet and all that stuff went down tomorrow, I mean, there would be a lot of sad kids across the world.
Okay, so I use the internet for work, but at the same time, if the internet went down tomorrow, I have books to read.
Yes, exactly.
They're not on my Kindle. I actually have paperback books I can read. Now, my daughter, if the internet went down, she has no books. Her books are on her laptop.
Yep. And that's the new thing. Like, everything's electronically connected. And I mean, I have a daughter. She's 11-year-old. She's a very sweet daughter. I mean, great daughter. But I try to incorporate that with her. Like, we sit down and sometime and we read, like we actually, you know, I say, hey, oh, you know, pick out a series or something like that that you'll enjoy, some of it, you know, for her age. And we'll go to Barnes and Nobles and we'll pick up some books and things that she feels like she likes, and we'll incorporate that into her day to get away from, you know, tablet using and things like that, you know. So I mean, and she reads my books too. So it's like she actually helps me with some ideas sometimes, because, you know, they're kids, and sometimes she'll be like, hey, you know, daddy, and, you know, I mean, so I'll get ideas.
I have a couple books that my daughter actually helped me write, because the first one, she was my editor. And this other one, it's children's collection of stories. There's a book in there that when she was 6, 7 years old, she sat on my lap. Well, what's the character going to do next? So now I would type it up for her. So the story is actually hers. And I was teaching her how to do stories when she was little.
Yeah.
You know, it's incorporating our kids in our interest, but also keeping them grounded so they understand there is a life outside of Facebook.
Yes. And Instagram and all that other stuff. I a lot of the kids, when they're at recess and they're, you know, I do lunch duty, and so they'll be making all those TikTok videos and stuff like that and doing these little dances. And I mean, it's time to go to class. I mean, stop doing all these TikTok videos and dance and everything. It's time to get to lunch is over.
Yeah, it's like, okay, there's fun and games, and then there's, okay, you have to learn now.
Yeah, it's time for learning. So that's what my book series is about, is just teaching social skills. And I have a plethora of material to work with, because I see the kids in and out every day, and I see what they're connected to every day. I see what they're attracted to every day. I see the social interactions, and see, you know, how they interact with each other every day. So, I mean, I have such a huge board of material that I can just pull from, just from my everyday interactions working with them.
But that's great, though. You will never run out of material for Harold to do.
Yes.
It's almost impossible, because no 2 days in a school are the same.
Oh yeah, definitely not. No 2 days are the same. Every day is a new adventure. And I mean, but the kids, at least they gravitate to me, that being an author too, a children's book author too, you know, something that gives me a little leeway to give them some direction and give them some advice about things in terms of their living their lives and the social aspects of what they're doing and how they're interacting, and let them know at some point, you know, you're going to get older and you're going to have more responsibility about your life and things of that nature. And this is the place to learn the skills, is in school. So when you get to the real world and out there, and you're able to, you know, hopefully make good choices with your life and do great things with your life, you know.
You mean there's a real world out there? We have to work and we have to do things and interact with people? No, really.
My daughter always is big on like the mailbox. She'd be like, yeah, Dad, do we have anything in the mail? Do I have anything in the mailbox? I said, nope, you don't. You don't have anything in the mailbox. And as you get older, the mailbox is not a friendly place. It's not a place where you're going to want to go, because all there's in there is bills. Like, you know, you open it up, it's bills. Like, the mailbox is not a real fun, but, you know, for kids, it's a magical, the mailbox, you know, yeah.
I have an autistic daughter. She's 19 now, and she has to have the mail checked every day. You know, it has to magically appear that the mail is there. We have to go get it. It's like, I don't care. No one cares if there's stuff in the mailbox. It's only bills. We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to how kids love, you know, a lot of kids love the snow. Like a lot of the middle school kids, when it was snowing and, you know, before springtime came, a lot of them were loving it that they were able to, you know, interact with the snow. And I'm like, I don't like snow at all, because I have to clean it, shovel it, do all these things that I don't really care to do. So, I mean, to me, snow is not really fun. But for those kiddos, they're just laying in it, making snow angels, having a ball.
Well, see, I'm a different type of adult. I love my snow. So I have to be out in the snow and play in the snow. And my daughter is the one that goes, Mom, you're crazy. So she's the adult in that situation. We flip roles. Sometimes I'm the kid, she's the adult. So it works out.
I mean, it is, kids are going to be kids, and I think it's good for them to nurture their playful ways and nurture, that's the way of they're also learning too through play. They're learning how to navigate the world and things through playing and interacting with their peers and things like that. So, I mean, those things are good. I mean, let them play and have their fun if they want to. And I just am not a big fan of snow, being from New England and everything like that. I've never been a big fan. I've always said, at some point I'll move from this area and go to a place where it's nice and warm year round. And then another year goes by, another year goes by, another year goes by, and I'm still in Massachusetts.
I'm moving toward the snow, not away from it. I'm moving into the mountains where I get like 22 inches of snow at a time. So I'm good. I'm happy.
That's what it's about, making yourself happy and making, kids making themselves happy too.
Right. We have to be happy humans. Yeah. It doesn't matter. We can have our differences. I like snow, you don't like snow. We can have our differences, and it's okay, because it matters what makes us happy. That's right. It's the same thing with kids. If we teach them, it's okay to have differences and differences of opinions. What makes you happy? Does your opinion make you unhappy? Well, your opinion, whatever is making you unhappy, it's trying to change. Yes. And this is where we put in a cartoon character, book, or something that shows, hey, you can change your mind. It's okay to do that.
Yes. And I think it's good to incorporate that, especially with the youth and the kids and stuff like that, to have them understand that they can make different choices, and they don't necessarily have to be about trying to live up to other kids' expectations. Because a lot of times, you have peers who influence each other too, and kids will be influenced by other kids, and they'll let their own needs and things, in some cases, to just feel like they're accepted, being accepted into whatever that group.
The clique is. When you're in the school, you want to be in the in clique. Yeah. Whatever that in clique is. It doesn't mean it's something that makes you happy. Sometimes those kids that are in the in clique are very mean kids.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You want to be around the ones that make you feel accepted, but also bring you up.
Yeah. Yes, definitely so. And I mean, we work with the kids day in and day out to try to give them the tools that they need to be able to be successful socially, appropriate, make social appropriate decisions and things of that nature. So, I mean, it all ties in together in terms of, what we're trying to do to give these kids have a positive future for themselves, and be able to be stand-up citizens. My mom would always used to say to me, like, if you're not going to join the church, at least be a good citizen. So, because my mom, she was into church and things like that. So I have that background too, but she would always say, hey, okay, if you're not going to join church, okay, that's your decision, but at least be a good citizen. So,
right. You want to be a good person. Yeah. That's all that matters. You don't want to, it doesn't matter if you follow the crowd or not. You don't have to do that. You just have to be a good person.
Yeah. So like, what you?
I was going to say, do we have Harold coming up with the third book soon?
Yes, I'm actually working on that, putting that material together now. Not sure. It'll probably be a little bit of time before it comes out, because there's so many other things happening right now. And I've just been trying to keep up, because I'm a doctoral candidate too. So between working, doing the school thing, in terms of the public education part, and then doing my own education thing for me with assignments and stuff, with the doctorate program, I'm always trying to find extra time, that extra time.
It happens, and it's slow, and running a business and being a public speaker and stuff. I'm always trying to find the time to write. So
yes,
I get it.
But I think I'm pretty good multitasker. So I up to this point, I've been able to navigate and multitask and do the things I need to do, and meet all my obligations in terms of meeting my kids' needs at the school, and doing the things I need to do for my doctorate program, and also doing a lot of promotional things for my children's book series, to bring that to the forelight too. And have it be something that kids can enjoy and families can enjoy too, because some of the message in the books, some of the parents can actually get something from some of that stuff too. So I just try to go in that direction.
It's amazing when I was raising my daughter up and reading the children's books, how much I was learning how to raise my daughter through the children's books.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's things that I forgot from my childhood
Yeah.
that I needed to teach my daughter. Thanks to children's books, I remembered and was able to incorporate.
Yeah.
So it's always good for parents to read children's books. You might actually learn something.
That's especially with the first book that I have out. A lot of films are like, yeah, or a lot of people would say, hey, that's the lesson in that book is something that, you know, that some adults could actually work on and try to.
I mean, can you imagine if we all accepted each other?
Yeah, yeah.
Just think about it.
It'd be such a wonderful world.
It would. We would get rid of the wars. We'd get rid of the violence. How much stuff would we get rid of that we really don't need if we just accept each other? I'm not saying you have to love each other, but just accept that they are who they are.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that my you know, Hair from the Hood, at least in terms of what the messages for the first book is about, that like you know, reaching out and maybe, you know, extending yourself to learning about someone else that's different from you, and then you might find out actually you have a lot of things in common, and then all of a sudden now you are able to bridge the gap and learn more and develop a good friendship with somebody you probably would have never really developed a friendship with. So those are elements that I always try to let the kids know too, in terms of how when they're interacting with each other, like, you know, it's okay, like being able to understand and know and get to know someone else that's different from yourself is actually a good thing, because it you know, brings about understanding of awareness and things of that nature for them, and let them know that, you know, pretty much everybody is the same. It's just some, you know, things are different in terms of aspects of their cultural differences and things like that. But I mean, in the end, everybody's the same, and everybody should be able to nurture their connections with each other.
We are all the same in the ways that matter.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Everything else takes place within the four corners of our house.
Yes.
If you get out of the four corners of our house, everything's the same.
Yes, yes. So, I mean, that's what I try to have my books be about, is teaching those different types of lessons. And at least up to this point, a lot of families and kids in general have seemed like they've really gravitated towards the social skills series. And it's just been a tremendous support across the country and different some other countries too. But I mean, it's definitely building some steam, as they say. I guess
it's getting there. I've had, when I was in kindergarten, my kindergarten teacher was an author. So it takes time to get the children's books out there. Now, we're talking back in the 80s, so a long time ago. I'm dating myself right now. But, you know, back then we didn't have the power of the internet to get the book out there. Now we do. Now we have a social book that kids are actually reading and learning something, or a social series, because we're going into series. We have 2 out, but we're working on more.
Yeah.
And they're learning stuff. Isn't that amazing? When they learn stuff, it's on the computer, so they know it's out there. Now we can bring it off the computer into a physical book that they can read and touch.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best thing right there, when you can actually have a physical copy of something and read it and go through it and enjoy what you're reading. And I mean, I do definitely try to make the books enjoyable and entertaining. I make them colorful, and a lot of that stuff I incorporated on purpose, because, you know, I did, being a doctoral student and everything like that, a doctoral candidate, I do research. So the book series also, you know, I did my research on what kids seem like they gravitate to in terms of colors and color schemes and things of that nature. You know, wording and things like, you know, just doing research and trying to really understand the dynamics of what really kids gravitate to, and then incorporating those elements into my book series, so that, Even the younger kids, maybe they can't necessarily, they might be in a situation where the parent have to read to them and they can't read themselves, but also for the younger kids, the colorful animations of the books will, keep their attention as well. So I really try to focus on both those parts of
it's not just the verbiage of the book, it's also the colors and the tones and the action behind the pictures.
Yes, exactly. So I worked on that to try to
I think you've done a very good job on.
Okay.
But we are almost out of time, so where can our listeners and our viewers find you?
So I'm on I'm on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. You can find me at JIMMYPR, and I'm also on Twitter. So you can find me on there, and my email address is JIMPRIC@yahoo.com. So you can reach me on all those social mediums and through email too.
Awesome. And for our listeners and our viewers, happy reading.